Hi, my name is Thomas Spear, and 1 year ago I almost choked to death on a tooth that fell while I was asleep. I was all alone in the dark bedroom, with no one in the world to help me, hopelessly trying to grasp for air again and again and again, until, finally, somebody up there must have really loved me. I coughed blood all over the sheets and pillows, and one tooth. I never, not even in 1,000 years, would have thought such a thing is even possible. But even though it was the most terrifying experience of my entire life, it was that precise nightmarish moment that sent me on a completely unexpected journey that opened my eyes to the sick and deadly practices of the dental industry, helped me find out what's really happening inside the body when your gums are bleeding, and eventually led me to the discovery of a completely natural and inexpensive method that makes it possible for you to effortlessly regenerate all your gums, while super cementing your teeth no matter how advanced your tooth decay is. In the following 5 minutes, I'll show you why gum disease, tooth decay, or bad breath have nothing to do with how good your oral hygiene is, but with predatory bacteria buried deep inside your gums, eating at your roots and spreading like a plague to your throat, nose, and airways. And no matter what your doctor tells you, not even the deepest cleaning treatments can reach and destroy these bacteria that are tirelessly lurking inside your mouth, even when your teeth seem fine. But once you find out what you can do about it, not only will you have the power to get rid of your bleeding gums, bad teeth, and bad breath once and for all, but you'll also never have to face a dentist for horrifying procedures again. Because this solution is so simple that you can prepare it right now in your own home in less than 60 seconds. And so incredibly powerful that it has been clinically proven to work regardless of your age, medical condition, or the severity of your tooth decay, without you having to spend a single red cent on endless dental treatments, dangerous chemical-filled medications, painful tartar removal, risky surgeons, or implants. In fact, this cheap method is so amazing that not only did it send shockwaves across the medical establishment, but many doctors see it as a miraculous key that can unlock gum and teeth rejuvenation. Yes, I know how incredible this sounds, especially if you've been suffering from tooth decay and terrible pain, thinking there's no escape whatsoever. But even if your dentist has crushed your hopes by saying that it's too late, that you're bound to throw all your hard-earned savings on teeth reconstruction and implants, it's crucial that you stick with me until the very end of my story, because in a few moments you'll soon be able to save your teeth and smile with confidence once again. Just imagine. No more throbbing pain, no more inflamed, bleeding gums and bad breath, no more risking serious infections or stuffing yourself with medications hoping the pulsating tooth agony will stop for just 1 second, never having to cover your mouth or feel embarrassed. Instead, eating whatever you want, whenever you want, talking, smiling, and taking pride in showing your pearly whites, being able to kiss your wife or your kids without seeing them turning their heads away, and never ever having to set foot in a dental office again. Just like 57,000 other people did, people like Nicholas C.J., 45 years old from Glendale, Arizona. I've always taken care of my teeth and just couldn't understand why my gums were red, swollen, and receding. My dentist recommended me tartar removal. It was awful. Still hurts when I think about that scaler digging under my gums. Not to mention it didn't help at all, and one tooth got loose. Didn't really believe in your method, but tried it anyway because I was desperate. It's like my gums have grown back. My teeth seem whiter, too. Thank you for this. Never going back to the doctor again. Or Kimberly M., 51 years old from Chicago, Illinois. Thomas, God bless you. I was sick with worry over my teeth. I was spitting blood every time I brushed, and one of my front teeth seemed to be moving. I hate dentists, and I sure didn't have money for an implant. Now, everything is fine. Gums are clean and healthy, and no more loose teeth. Those are just two of the real-life stories from people just like you who've already used the method I'm about to share with you. Now, I'll give you all the details on how it works in just a second. But before I do, I want you to know who I am, why my unusual discovery turned the dental industry upside down while saving thousands of people the pain and money of going through implants and sickening dental procedures, and how exactly it will help you rebuild your teeth and gums in 60 seconds before going to bed, even in the most severe of cases of tooth decay. So, As you know, my name is Thomas Spear. I'm 52 years old, and I live in a small town near San Francisco, California, with my wife, Hannah. I've been a chemistry teacher for the past 30 years, and in the past 5 years, since my wife had to retire early due to an accident, I've also been working as a taxi driver. Life's never been too easy for me, but I don't complain. In fact, as you're about to see, had it not been for my 2 jobs, I wouldn't have come across the groundbreaking solution that's now changing the lives of so many people. You see, after getting my second job as a taxi driver, I started working long hours, especially at night, fueling up on coffee and sweets to stay awake or just find the energy to carry on. At first, I used to carry a toothbrush in my glove box and wash my teeth in gas stations, but after a while, I was just too exhausted for that. A few months later, my gums started bleeding. First time I noticed the toothpaste I spit it out turned slightly pink. Then, each time I got to brush my teeth, I spitted out blood in the sink. No big deal, I thought. I have more important things to worry about. A little bleeding from brushing can happen to anyone. Nothing wrong with that, right? Wrong. Spitting out blood after brushing is dead wrong. It's true. It happens to more people than you think. A whopping 56% of Americans suffer from some form of gum disease. But this does not make it any less serious. You're about to see inside this presentation why you should never ignore this sign. So, not long after, something embarrassing happened. At school, the other teachers kept turning their heads away when I was talking to them, or just made a step back to keep a distance. And once I've even been overheard a few of my students calling me Beetlejuice. If you don't know who that is, well, it's a movie character with rotten, horrible teeth. When I heard them, I just wished the ground would open and swallow me. I went to the bathroom and looked at my teeth in the mirror, yellow with swollen and irritated gums. And as hard as it was to admit, it was my breath that kept driving everybody away, which explained why Hannah kept avoiding kissing me or even hugging me. But what really hurt like hell was when I wanted to take my granddaughter Sarah into my arms, and she started crying. "I don't wanna, you make me vomit." Still, the worst was yet to come. Pain. Terrible, never-ending, pulsing pain. Even after popping painkillers like Tic Tacs, I always was moody. Always tired, avoided to talk to people as much as I could. And on top of everything, my upper left molars seemed to be moving. It felt like in one of those bad dreams when, your teeth are falling, only it was really happening. My wife kept bugging me to go to the dentist. On one side, I knew she was right. On the other side, I kept postponing it and eating only on the left side. Listen, I'm a 6-foot-tall man and I know how this sounds. But I'd rather pet a venomous, hairy, giant tarantula than go to the dentist. I get cold shivers up my spine just when thinking about it. The gruesome smells, the gut-wrenching instruments. But then, the dreadful night came. Hannah was babysitting our granddaughter, so she was spending the night at our son's house. I had a free shift, so I was always happy to get into bed and finally get some sleep. All seemed to be just fine. My gums weren't swollen anymore, so I fell asleep with a glimpse of hope. And got brutally woken up. I'll never forget the time. 12:47. Choking, unable to breathe, not knowing what was stuck in my throat. Helplessly staring at the clock on the nightstand. A minute that felt like an eternity from 12:47 to 12:48. Then coughing up all the blood and the molar. I was sick to my stomach when I saw all the mess. Sick to my stomach when I thought I almost died, choking on a tooth in my sleep. The next morning, my cheek was swollen. After hearing all that had happened to me and seeing the way I looked, Hannah was worried sick. So I knew I had no choice. I had to go to the dentist. My heart was pounding out of my chest when I entered the cabinet. After a quick look into my mouth and an x-ray, the dentist gave me 2 frightening news. And please keep listening, especially if you've ever dealt with bleeding gums. 1, my gums were so damaged that I'd passed right by gingivitis and landed into the dangerous land of periodontitis. Periodontitis is an advanced form of gum disease that begins with inflammation and bleeding and ultimately causes your gums to retract, your teeth to fall, plus bad breath and tooth decay. Not only that, but gum disease and periodontitis are also linked to respiratory infections, kidney disease, and even oral cancer. All because, as you're about to see, it turns your mouth into a perfect environment for harmful bacteria to thrive in. So, what was I supposed to do? Well, as the doctor put it, here's how much it would cost you to fix your gums at the dentist and what you would have to go through. gum grafts. About $600 per gum, no guarantee it'll work. If your gums are seriously damaged, this could cost you up to thousands of dollars. Fillings and root canals to save the teeth that were already damaged, with prices that range from $500 to $2,000. That's a lot of money for a lot of pain if you ask me. Then there's surgery to strengthen the gums, or in medical terms, pocket elimination surgery. Costs approximately $6,000. Or, my favorite one, remove the worst teeth and replace them with implants. Thinking an implant costs $4,500, best case scenario, and that according to the doctor, I needed at least 4. I might as well have sold one of my kidneys. Oh, but the list doesn't stop here. No matter the dental procedure you choose as your torture, know that after you'll have to pay for maintenance, which can cost over $100 per session. To put it bluntly, expensive, lengthy, painful treatments that promise no real solution. And I assure you, no doctor could ever guarantee you that any of these treatments would work. It's all a game of chance, only it's your money, your time, and your health on the table. For example, did you know that you have to wait for 1.5 years to know if your dental implant is a success or not? Implants are usually a 2-part process. First, putting in the implant, then waiting for the area to heal and covering it with a crown 6 to 3 to 4 months later. And then, only if 1 year passes without infections or other complications can you finally breathe a sigh of relief. As if this depressing list wasn't enough, the dentist dropped the second bomb on me. I needed surgery. You see, my fallen tooth had a fractured root. A piece of this root was still buried deep inside my gums, causing an infection. So we needed to remove the remaining bits and fast before the infection was going to spread even more. As the doctor explained to me, a tooth infection can invade your brain in a matter of hours and lead to severe complications and even death. Why? Because each one of your teeth is connected to your brain through tiny nerves. The infection can travel from the tooth to the nose, to the eyes, and ultimately to the brain. Here's how to tell if your infection needs immediate medical attention. It's a tip I've learned from the doctor. If you experience confusion, headaches, and fever, you need to go to the hospital right away. As for my surgery, I'll spare you the details. Let's just say getting stung with a big anesthetic needle in your gums 5 times in a row and then butchered for 1 hour straight isn't something you want to remember. The most horrifying thing, however, was that even after the anesthetic from the surgery was gone, I couldn't feel my chin and my mouth was a little crooked. It took me 1 month to recover and regain the senses in my numb face. Meanwhile, I did a lot of research online to see if anybody else had been in my situation. Besides the good advice I read, take B vitamins for facial nerve recovery and pray to God, I came across a study that shattered me to the core. Dental procedures and surgeries, implants included, can leave you disfigured. No wonder they have you sign tons of consent forms before the implant. Anything to cover their backs in case something goes wrong. So, I could consider myself a fortunate case. After all these, one thing was sure, I was never going back to the dentist again. I started using a special toothpaste for gum disease, but with no success whatsoever. I was afraid to chew, always checking my teeth with my tongue to see if everything was fine. I began eating mostly soups and mashed potatoes. Until one day, it happened again. One of my front teeth was moving. That night I couldn't sleep. I was paralyzed with fear and tormented by thoughts. I was a full-grown man eating baby food on his way to lose its front teeth with no money for implants and risking life-threatening infections. That's when I took the decision to take the matter into my own hands and find a solution that I could afford.